He had only come because his sister insisted. Daniel hadn't been on a date in 3 years, not since his wife passed and left him alone with a 7-year-old daughter and a life that barely held together. The restaurant was far too expensive for him, a place where the menus didn't list prices and the waiters spoke softly as if noise itself cost money. He checked the table number again, embarrassed by his worn jacket and scuffed shoes, and sat down where the hostess pointed. He assumed it was a mistake, but before he could stand up and ask, a woman arrived. She moved with quiet authority, her presence commanding attention without effort. Elegant, calm, and unreadable, she sat across from him and looked directly into his eyes. Daniel froze. This was not the woman from the dating app. Not even close. He stammered an apology, already halfway out of his chair, explaining that he must be at the wrong table. She raised a hand gently and told him to sit. Her name was Claire. She said she was waiting for someone too, but that she had a habit of letting conversations play out when fate made an error. Daniel didn't understand what she meant, but he sat back down, cheeks burning. He told her the truth, that he was a single dad, worked 2 jobs, and had no business being in a place like this. He expected her to smile politely and excuse herself. Instead, she asked him about his daughter. That question broke something open in him. He talked about Emma's love for drawing, how she slept with the lights on since her mother died, how every dollar he earned went to rent, food, and school supplies. Claire listened without interrupting. No phone, no glances around the room, just attention. When the waiter arrived, Daniel reached for his wallet in panic, but Claire ordered for both of them and told him not to worry. The conversation flowed in ways he didn't expect. She spoke about pressure, loneliness, and how being surrounded by people didn't mean being understood. She didn't mention what she did for work. He didn't ask. Halfway through dinner, a man in a tailored suit approached the table, visibly nervous. He leaned toward Claire and whispered something urgently. Daniel caught the words board meeting and Tokyo. Claire nodded and dismissed him with a glance. When the man left, Daniel realized the entire restaurant had gone quiet for just a second, like people were aware something important had happened. He finally asked who she was. Claire smiled, not warmly but honestly. She told him she was the CEO of a global investment firm, worth billions, one of the most powerful women in the city. Daniel laughed softly, certain she was joking. She didn't laugh back. He apologized again, mortified, and said he would leave immediately. She stopped him. She told him that the man she was supposed to meet never showed up, that the dinner was meant to be a public appearance, a reminder to investors that she was stable, grounded, respectable. She told him the board had been pushing her toward a strategic marriage for years, someone appropriate, someone useful. Then she looked at him and said something that made his breath leave his body. Marry me or leave now. I'll give you $50 million either way, but if you walk out, this conversation never existed. Daniel stared at her, convinced he'd misheard. She repeated it calmly. The money would be placed in a trust for his daughter regardless of his choice. No conditions if he left. But if he stayed, if he agreed to marry her, it would be a partnership. Public. Contractual. No lies. No pretending it was love. He stood up so fast his chair scraped the floor. People turned to look. He said she was insane, that his life wasn't something to gamble with, that his daughter wasn't a bargaining chip. Claire didn't flinch. She said she admired him for that. She said she had seen hundreds of men crumble at the mention of money, power, status. He was the first to look offended for the right reasons. He paced for a long moment, heart pounding. $50 million would change everything. Emma would never worry again. No more night shifts. No more choosing between medicine and groceries. But marriage? A lie broadcast to the world? He sat back down slowly and asked one question. Why me? Claire answered without hesitation. Because he didn't want her. Because he talked about his daughter before himself. Because he was honest, even when it made him small. He told her he wouldn't marry a stranger, but he also wouldn't walk away like none of it mattered. He proposed something else: time, real conversations, a chance for Emma to meet her, a chance for them to decide without pressure. Claire studied him for a long time. Then she smiled, this time, truly. She agreed. The deal changed. No announcement, no contract, just dinner again the following week and the week after that. Claire met Emma. Emma liked her. A lot. She drew pictures for her and asked if she had ever been scared of the dark. Claire admitted she was sometimes. Months passed. The press eventually found out, as they always did. Rumors spread. The board panicked. Claire stood her ground. When she finally announced her engagement, there was no mention of money, strategy, or deals. Daniel quit one of his jobs, not because of wealth, but because he could. He became present, calm, whole again. The world saw a poor single dad who married a billionaire CEO. What they never saw was the night he almost walked away, and the woman who offered him everything, but earned his trust instead.